spark of inspiration is at the heart of all creation.
Spark a dream that we're meant to follow.
You're listening to the Extra Magic Hour, brought to you by Walt's Apartment Podcast and the Diz Insider. Join the team in the studio as they bring you the spirit of Disney through park news, history, and tips and tricks to make your Disney Parks vacation even more magical.
Hey everybody, welcome to Extra Magic Hour. This is your parks, cruise, resort-centric show for everything Walt's Apartment, and that's Disney, Universal, SeaWorld, Knott's, everything in between. And we got three awesome park-loving hosts tonight. Tonight I'm joined by Sam and Kevin. What's up, guys? How you doing?
It's good. We're good. Ready to talk some news from parks we don't always talk about. So I'm excited. And Joey, you guys have some exciting news coming up because this upcoming Wednesday, a lot of us are going to be traveling to Rogue Comic-Con, and you and Courtney and Kelly are going to be holding it down on a live show.
Yes.
Extra Magic Hour meets Walt's Apartment live on this upcoming Wednesday, which is the 14th of May.
That is correct.
What can we expect from the live show, Joey?
Well, being that, majority of our team is headed up to Medford, and man, we wish we were headed up too, because last year was such a blast. But as a lot of you know, maybe some of you don't know, I was expected to possibly have relocated down there, which hasn't happened yet. So it kind of messed up my plans. But like you mentioned, myself, Kelly, and Courtney will be at Disneyland on the 16th, the beginning of the 70th. So we figured if we're going to do Extra Magic Hour live on Wednesday, let's just build up in anticipation for the 70th. So that's what we're going to do. So there's not going to be very much 70th news this week, since we did get a foodie guy. We got even more merchandise and some funness happening. So get ready for that next week, plus some maybe just regular Walt's Apartment fun banter. But yes, we'll be doing that next week on the 14th.
That's exciting. Also, we are going to be doing a live Walt's Apartment podcast from Rogue Comic-Con. So maybe if you guys get some great videos or something of opening day, you can send them to us and we can pop up those videos and share them during the live while we're at Rogue Comic-Con, and then everybody can feel like they're at the parks with you guys.
Yeah, and one thing we should get live is live commercials from Kevin, who's joining us tonight as well. So you got to get him on the stage, and
I'll be contributing my voice wherever possible. We'll see how it goes.
We'll have to get Kevin to come and use his voice of God, Kevin. I don't know. You're kind of like Loki. You're just everywhere. So we're gonna slide him in but definitely check out We're in the Parks table next to the Walt's Apartment booth at Rogue Comic-Con if you are going to be in the Rogue Valley. So
yeah, Walt's Apartment's going to be busy next week.
Yes, this next week. We've got lots of news tonight, though. So where do we want to go first, Joey?
Well, first, before we get to our park topics, I just want to remind you that we are brought to you by three awesome sponsors. Getaway Today, Sunken City Design. Of course, We're in the Park. We will be hearing from them throughout the show. But before we start, I thought since we are leading up to Disneyland's 70th anniversary, since we do miss our this weekend Disney history on this show, but it's perfect on the live show because there's so much to go. But I thought little icebreaker, favorite Walt moments during the opening of Disneyland back in 1955. So, Sam, would you like to start?
I will. So when I first started podcasting, I didn't know tons about like Disney history or how the parks came to be. And I was building this podcast network because I loved the parks. but I didn't know tons about the history with a friend. And he looked at me one day and said, "You are the Herb Ryman of this network." So then I was like, who the hell is Herb Ryman? So that led me to going into the origin story for Disneyland. And that weekend that Herb Ryman and Walt, and we know other Imagineers were there, but Herb Ryman typically gets all the credit. Basically, Herb Ryman gets called up on a Friday and is told, "Hey, we are pitching a park on Monday to investors, and you need to come here and build the maps." And they basically locked themselves in Imagineering, what we would consider Imagineering today, but their planning session, and built the original maps for what was to be Disneyland. And on Monday, Roy took it to the investors. So they had an entire weekend to map out the parks, or the first park. And I just think that story is just it's so like iconic as to what Walt wanted to happen. He was not letting his Imagineers, who were basically just creators from the studios at that time, not like come in full force. Herb Ryman had already left the company. He asked to come back and do this. And that was just the relationship that Walt had with the people that he kept around him. It was this like beautiful connection where they all wanted to be part of everything that he worked on, even when they no longer worked with him. And I think we get to see that sometimes when you have a very powerful CEO that has those connections. People want to come back and be part of the magic that they're creating. So for me, it was definitely that opening map weekend with Herb Ryman and the other Imagineers who don't often get mentioned, to map out Disneyland for the investors. Joey, I know you have the portfolio over there.
So for our YouTube audience, this was a D23 member gift one year. It was a replica of the portfolio that Sam mentioned. And so it had a card in here that was kind of put together by Dave Smith. But basically just saying exactly what Sam said about this being sent to the investors. It looks all worn out and stuff, but it's got all the layout of everything. So this is amazing.
Amanda and I actually have a few pages of that framed on our wall in our hallway.
Oh,
we also have a complete version of it as well. But we got some pages at one of the Disney MouseCon, I think, in Concord. Before we even started wearing the park, we saw those and we're like, "What? These are gonna look so awesome!" So we bought them. We found out what they were later, as far as pages from the D23 giveaway. So I ended up buying that as well. So we have that just all intact. But yeah, they're amazing art. Just the fact that all that was just from people's minds, things that you look at and go, "Oh yeah, that was at Disneyland. I know this. I've seen photos of this." Well, not all of that book was done in one weekend, but definitely the map that they presented to the investor. Okay, that's fine. They did the entire book in just one weekend. No, I mean, obviously they had thought about what was going to be in that map before Herb Ryman showed up. It wasn't like Herb Ryman imagined what it was going to be, but as far as what he interpreted it as is what we kind of almost got. I mean, obviously things were flipped around a little bit. The castle wasn't quite that design, but it feels like Disneyland when you look at it, and I do love that very much.
Yeah.
That's
especially awesome. With everything at Disneyland and even Magic Kingdom in Florida, just the visuals are so ingrained in our brains that to think these guys they didn't have that. What's that? And did it themselves.
It came from their brains, and then we got the products that we see, and we get that all the time with concept art now. It's still sometimes the concept art does not match what we get, and we gripe about that. But sometimes we'll see concept art, and then we'll see the real product, and it's like that came from someone's imagination.
Yeah.
We're talking about concept art. I know our show notes don't talk about Abu Dhabi here. I know we covered a little bit in the live show.
Yeah, I mean, we can talk about it.
Talking about concept art, it was very interesting to me how stylized that artwork was for Abu Dhabi, where it was hard to tell what anything was on it, where you can tell it's very intentional. They heard Lou complaining, being no, the concept art doesn't match the reality. They're we're going to make it where this doesn't match any reality. It's just going to be a gesture of what it can be. And I don't know if that's where we're going to go with concept art going forward. I love the old concept art from 54. or 53, I guess, probably when they painted those ones, and where it looked a lot like what actually was built. And we're not getting that today, but we'll see what ends up being built in that part of the world.
And we will touch on that a little bit tonight because we're going to touch on the investors call and some of the projects that were mentioned. But if you want a in-depth discussion on the Disney Imagined Park coming to Abu Dhabi, definitely check out the replay from our live show last night on May 7th.
Yeah, definitely. My favorite thing, I was going to stick with just the opening day in general, but it's so tough. And like when you talked about the concept, I'm going to go with him doing the Disneyland TV show that led up to the opening, and all the behind the scenes when everything's so secretive now. But Walt's like, nope, we're going to show the building as it's going. It's going to be sponsored by ABC's doing this, Coca-Cola, get all the sponsors in. But then the live broadcast, which you can watch on Disney Plus, I got the 2-disc DVD on the opening in Disneyland. But going to that, all that build up to the opening on that show was amazing. But watching the live thing and everything going wrong and and stuff. But we all seen and we all love the opening day speech that he did on Main Street. But one of my favorites too is throughout that special, he also did an opening day speech at each land, plus reading the plaque and stuff, which a lot of people forgot. But I mean, I just think just seeing that stuff, how he personally dedicated each land along with the park itself, is always one of my favorite things to hear, especially like Adventureland and Frontierland and stuff. So, but what about you, Kevin?
There's so much obviously that I love about Disneyland and about opening day stuff, hearing about it, as far as like people putting a ladder around like one side of it to sneak into the park and all that kind of stuff. But specifically with that video, there's one scene in it. I actually put it in the show notes. I don't know if you can pull it up or not. At the 3-minute and 5-second mark of this video, it's this really awkward Walt Disney and Art link letter, like walking toward the castle, where they kind of link their arms in a weird way as like Walt's trying to like trying to get the microphone cord like out of the way. Where what I like about it is that it shows like how focused Walt was on the park, that he hadn't worked out all the details of this video that he had promised to ABC a whole year earlier. It was one of those things where this wasn't his priority. His priority was not like, let's polish the heck out of this one show we're going to do. It was, we're going to try to make this park as good as it can be. And if this video was good, cool. Apparently, not everything was as polished as it should have been for the actual presentation. But
we also know opening day, the park wasn't as polished as they had hoped to. Things were very rushed, and but people loved it and they came back.
Yeah,
if you build it, I
love that Walt Disney didn't consider that opening day. He considered July 17th as the press preview and July 18th as opening day of his park, because he didn't see this as like the real thing. This is just a practice that we're doing with all these people who should have been just people who knew how to be in front of cameras. But like I said, people were sneaking in. People had a bunch of fake tickets. So people who were there weren't who they had kind of curated to be there, is the story that I've heard. And
it is
a bunch of trespassers.
Such a testimony that people wanted this so desperately and were looking forward to this so much that they were sneaking in, though.
Yeah.
That he wouldn't even have
dealt with all the traffic.
That. Yeah.
Yeah.
And fun
long
fact,
lines.
Very long. As a fun fact too, on the 35th anniversary, we went on July 17th, and so they had all the radio stuff, and we actually didn't really meet, but have a video of Art Linkletter, because he was around the park still doing interviews and stuff for the local radio stations that were there. So it was cool seeing him
awesome,
up front and personal. So old at the time. It's 35 years ago this year already. Crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, can't have Disneyland or these new Disney parks without Walt. So I thought I'd throw it a little bit of extra Walt in the show. But
for sure,
from Walt to the ocean, we're going to start with SeaWorld.
Bring to the side over here.
Because Lewis wanted justice for SeaWorld. Well, we got 3 damn stories this week. So here we go.
Let's go. Big SeaWorld news coming out this week. So actually tomorrow at SeaWorld Orlando, their Expedition Odyssey flyover is opening to the public. I know that they've already done previews for it, but Expedition Odyssey took them years actually of sending people into the Arctic to do research to create this flyover. So you're going to get to see some bird's eye view encounters with Arctic animals. You're going to see some up close ones where you come face to face. And they're trying to build that human animal connection where we get to see them in their natural habitat. And obviously SeaWorld's whole thing is about making sure that we're protecting our Arctic life, our sea life. So trying to build that bridge with this flyover experience. And then once you exit Expedition Odyssey, there is their Arctic exhibit there. There is a new baby walrus who was found orphaned, and the SeaWorld experts rehabilitated her, and they put her so her name is Yuki. Alaska Sea Life Center actually rehabilitated her. Now she is going to SeaWorld Orlando, and she's going to be with her surrogate mother, Caboodle. They've been together, and they have connected really, really well, and they snuggle and like they rub whiskers and stuff, which I guess is like a term of endearment and affection connection between walruses. So I think that's super fantastic. So you can go starting tomorrow. You get to see the new little baby walrus with its orphan mama at SeaWorld Orlando at the end of Expedition Odyssey.
Now that's cool. And real quick before we move coast, Kevin, I haven't been to SeaWorld in ages, but I remember them. Did they have something like that in San Diego? I remember doing like a Star Toursy kind of helicopter ride, and there was
they still have walruses, but as far as the Arctic ride that used to be there, they took that out and they put in a roller coaster instead. They have Arctic Rescue now.
So yeah, it is. You have to be 39 inches to ride it. So, I mean, there are some movement elements to it. It is supposed to be incredibly interactive, and they are saying that there's tons of technology that they haven't used before at SeaWorld that is being integrated into the Expedition Odyssey experience. So it's going to be a new experience, but yes, something very similar where you're traveling through the Arctic and you can see.
Yeah.
They just took years of research to collect the evidence or the footage and to be able to recreate it and put it in this experience with new technology. And I've heard good reviews from people who have seen it. So
yeah, that's awesome. Like I said, it was like it was over 20 years ago. I think the last time I was at SeaWorld in San Diego, and it was cool. Then you got out of what was a helicopter or something, and you went and there's like a polar bear, and then you went to another where and there's like a beluga whale or something, an Arctic whale. But that's really cool that they're doing this. So
I think that's something that SeaWorld does that's really cool, is because you get that educational experience, the up close encounters with sea life or like the Arctic life after getting off of the encounter.
Yeah, the Arctic area with the beluga whale and all that is still there. I was going to point out that this isn't the first time that SeaWorld, or I guess United Parks is what they're called now, has tried one of these rides, but it's kind of interesting that over at Busch Gardens Williamsburg, back in, I believe, 2010, they opened a ride called Europe in the Air that only lasted for about 6 years. It was supposed to be just like Soarin', but over Europe, because it's a European themed park. If you don't know what Busch Gardens Williamsburg is like,
did they have a curve with Eiffel Tower too?
Oh, I hope not. I didn't get to go on it, unfortunately. When we went, it was closed, and it's not there anymore. Like I said, it closed in 2016. They replaced it with something called Battle for Irie, and that also closed.
Oh, wow.
So I'm hoping that this attraction lasts longer than that one did. I'm not sure what the technical difficulties were. I read about it before we went because I was just trying to figure out, like, this sounds awesome. Why isn't this there? And everyone playing, they're like, go to Disney, they do this correctly, So I'm hoping that SeaWorld has taken the time to figure it out, like Sam was saying, to really get everything down as far as the story beats go and timing with the music and everything. So that way it feels like a real attraction.
Yeah.
And I know that the president of the company said that when they were building this, they wanted to invoke an emotional response from guests, because I mean, that's how we get people to care more about our wildlife, is by giving them these encounters and giving them this exposure to what life is like for them in the Arctic, and like what their natural habitats look like, and giving them that like reality of this is not a zoo, you know?
They need to do that.
And then having this beautifully rehabilitated walrus that they basically saved, because it would have, you know, died in the wilderness, and giving it a new mom and having that be like the first thing you see when you're coming off of the attraction. I think that's really special. So
yeah,
it's invoking that emotional response that I think all of us need to kind of, you know, build that investment to keep us going back and seeing attractions that we've already seen. So
yeah, absolutely.
I want to point out one thing really fast. I just Googled it to verify this. I think I heard it before, but with this attraction, there's no CGI involved. I think that's one of the things that's been killing a lot of Soarin' style rides ever since even Soarin' Around the World, where they decided, hey, you know what, let's use computers to make this attraction instead of just actually going over it. And this one, they actually went over it, according to the article I'm reading right now. So
they did, yep.
I am looking forward to seeing this if they did go out of the way to not just pretend it happened.
Yep, and it's like up close views too, like coming face to face with these animals. So they had tons of scientists and researchers going in for years and like living in the field to bring this experience together.
Well, not harming or scaring them. And that is really awesome, because I mean, Kevin knows every time they bring Soarin' Over California back, even as old as just irregular footage is, it is so much more better having that natural element. So that sounds
we don't
amazing.
need CGI elephants throwing dirt in our faces or the entire Taj Mahal scene being fake. I don't get it.
We talked about
appreciate
Soarin'
them taking that effort.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You guys want some past member news for SeaWorld San Diego?
Sure.
All right, Kevin, I know you said you get the emails, right?
I did, but I didn't read all of it, so I might learn something.
You guys pass holders?
We are pass holders, yes.
Oh, so Kevin is a pass holder for SeaWorld San Diego. You and Lou
For
have
all
that
the
in common.
SeaWorld parks.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. So year round, if you are a pass member, you get free parking, free Sky Tower access, and free tickets that you can use for guests. But they just released this week that they are having their exclusive summer spectacular preview. So there are going to be tons of ways that you can celebrate the summer at SeaWorld. Kevin, do you know any of those ways that you can celebrate? I know that there's going to be free bat ray feeding.
I was just opening it right now. I actually don't know. I see free sea lion feeding tray.
Okay.
Now through May 31st.
Share.
Yeah. So there's free bat ray feeding trays for the month of May. And then you said you saw sea lion feeding?
Is this San Diego or for Orlando?
No, this is San Diego.
Okay. My email from them that just came in on the 1st of May says sea lions. I don't know.
That's crazy. So their Instagram says one thing and then their email says so you're getting to feed. It's probably maybe it's both. I mean, you could probably say both. Well, so we're going to say
I don't
both
see anything about
because then you can show them the email or the Instagram post and say, this is what you advertised. False advertisement. So there you go.
I got the Instagram post ready, and there's there's rays.
So if you're on the Instagram post and you scroll over to the last slide on the Instagram post, it says free bat ray feeding tray. And then they have double discounts for platinum members, double discounts on one food and beverage purchase, and a bonus 20% off of merchandise. And then they do have, if you go to their link in their Instagram bio, you can buy one, get one 50% off on passes if you go to their link. So buy one annual pass. And
is that a lounge fly back?
Yeah, or get one 50%.
SeaWorld Rescue?
Yeah, it is. It is.
Oh yeah, you can share the post. I have it ready for you.
Oh, I didn't see it. So you gotta let me know, Joey, because
I
you did, but I didn't hear you. I did not register what you were saying. So yeah, it's a Loungefly SeaWorld. So yeah, here it says you get a free bat ray feeding tray. But Kevin's member email says you get sea lion feeding. So that may be an issue for their social media department.
I'm actually at the pass member rewards page for the month of May, and it does say pretty specifically it's available at the Sea Lion Point. So
Okay.
I don't know.
That
You have to go
is
there and ask them, see if
Let
the
us know.
ambassadors know any better.
Yeah, let us know, because their social media and their website and past member emails are not saying the same thing. We're gonna send Lewis and be like, listen, put your pass to use and let us know. Go try and feed something and let us know how that goes.
It's not
Just know what you're allowed to feed.
Like it.
Well, I do see June 1st through June 30th. It says over here is Bat Ray Shallows for the free feeding.
It said May exclusives on that pass, though, so that's crazy. All right. But we also did get Halloween news out of SeaWorld, which, Kevin, I know you had some thoughts on that before we started.
Yeah, Amanda and I went to their Hallow Scream in San Diego. Not last year, but the year before. It's fun if it's like your introduction to a horror event. It was a lot more tamed down than what you would get at other parks, I think, but it was still a lot of fun. Some of the scare actors were a little bit younger, I guess, than you would get at other parks, so they kind of relied on more screaming than just kind of being creepy, which I don't love. But again, it was better than what I experienced at Magic Mountain like a decade ago. So I don't know how to really put it in the great scheme of things, but if you're going for a horror event, definitely Halloween Horror Nights or not Scary Farm are the top two. They still are. Mm-hmm. But if you're down in San Diego, it's not a bad time. It's still a lot of fun.
Yeah, the video we just showed, there's a lot of daytime footage for a Halloween night, but it looked very what they had at the Queen Mary when they used to do the Halloween thing there, with just the scare actors. But
whatever they call that.
Yeah.
This is their 5th year doing the Hallow Scream San Diego. And they have tickets from $39.99 when you buy 2 or more. And the offer vanishes May 11th. So you have until May 11th to get that $39.99 ticket price if you're buying 2 or more tickets. They have dates available from, I believe it was September 11th through November 1st. Hang on, I know it was in the video.
That's barely more expensive than a movie nowadays. That's a great price.
I'm looking to
IMAX,
see what the dates were.
Yeah.
So September 12th through November 1st, they have select dates available. So check out the Hallow Scream section of the SeaWorld San Diego website if you are interested in seeing what their Halloween event looks like. We did just play a video here from their Instagram. So if you want to see that on our live show, if you want to see our lovely faces, definitely check out our YouTube at Walt's Apartment Productions. And while we're at it, let's just plug our absolutely free Discord, where you can come talk to us about all of our shows and all of the things that we have going on in our apartment. So,
yes.
Yeah, I think that's all I have for SeaWorld.
Go ahead.
I want to point out that like right now it's only May, right? It seems very early for selling these tickets. I don't think any of the other parks are doing it. I know for Knott's Berry Farm, if you are a pass holder, you can get like the Knott's Scary Farm pass right now, surprisingly. But for just a regular one-day ticket, I don't know when those are going to go on sale for either Universal or for Knott's. So it's very interesting that SeaWorld is just really like, hey, come give us your cash right now for this event that's happening in September to November. So
I think that's why they're doing it.
I'm interested to see if they're going to use that to invest in making the event even better if they know more people are coming. So maybe the more people join up.
My thought was that when the other tickets for the other parks go on sale, other people are going to be less likely to purchase their tickets for their event. So they're having this sale until May 11th to try and sell as many as they can before other parks start announcing their Halloween tickets, and SeaWorld kind of gets put on the back burner, kind of like early bird gets the worm. So, because like if you're like, hey, I can spend $40 and it'll be fun, and then you're like, oh, I'm going to spend $180 later, or you just spent $180 and now it's like, do I really want to put 40 more on top of it?
Yeah.
So.
And I was thinking around this time, a lot of people are doing their halfway to Halloween. So they're like, yeah, hey, wait, nobody's doing it right now. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a great price though. I mean,
I think so too. And I think that honestly, like they're going to get people who wouldn't have bought tickets later in the year because it is a great price right now. And then they're kind of trying to get ahead of everyone else. I think it's smart.
I do want to point out though that in the past, Platinum Pass members have had access to a free ticket for their home park for Hollow Scream. So I don't know if that's going to be offered again for your home park. And they're just because they don't mention it here on this ticket saying it's only $39.99. That if you have a pass, you already have one ticket to it. They aren't really saying this. I don't really know if they're dropping that this year or if they're just not letting you know until you get closer to the event.
Huh.
You think that they would let you know that before tickets go on sale?
So SeaWorld and Universal throw in free Halloween party tickets to their annual pass. Interesting.
Right.
My wheels are turning on just what they could do at SeaWorld for Halloween. I'm thinking all this like, piratey stuff and Davy Jones. I know everybody will think of like Pirates of the Caribbean with Davy Jones, but he's been around a lot longer than Disney. So just the stuff.
He does not own Davy Jones.
Exactly.
This is completely aside from this, but I'm going to a concert tomorrow with some friends and I didn't know who the person was. And they're like, well, everybody dresses up like pirates to go to his concert. And I was like, wait, what?
SpongeBob? Who are you going to go see?
Sturgill Simpson?
I don't know who that is.
I don't know either. Oops, sorry, I bumped my mic. I don't know either, but apparently people dress like pirates. I am not dressing like a pirate.
Get a costume.
Awesome.
You have time.
No,
I got my pirate hat here somewhere.
Well, see if you can get it here to me by tomorrow.
I got it.
All right. We can ponder on that while we listen to a commercial from Getaway Today.
I was going to say,
it's been a great show so far, but who's ready for an ad break? Did you know that the best way to keep our shows going is by supporting our sponsors? So let's get to know more about the travel experts at Getaway Today. They've been helping to make vacation dreams come true since 1990. And whether you want to visit the happiest place on earth or to travel to Orlando for a most epic adventure, they are there to help. Are you trying to find out which hotel is your best option or which theme park tickets will work best for your visit? Are you concerned that you might need a last-minute change? No worries. Their travel experts will help you out. Looking to book a cruise but don't know where to start? Hey, they can help with that too. They will find the perfect cruise for your vacation, whether it's your first time or you're a well-seasoned cruiser. When you book your cruise with one of the Getaway Today experts, you will have a dedicated agent to help you every step of the way. They take care of the details so you can have the most fun. Getaway Today offers peace of mind travel, allowing you to cancel or make changes up to 72 hours before your trip. You will always have the most up-to-date vacation information, both pre-arrival and upon welcome. Getaway Today guarantees the best prices, with no hidden fees, and every time you book through Getaway Today, they will donate a portion back to a charitable organization in your area. And so far, over $4.5 million have been donated. So go ahead and dial 1-855-GETAWAY, that's 1-855-438-2929, and be sure to tell them that Walt's Apartment sent you. Or just click the link in our show notes for more information and the best deals to start your Disney, Universal Studios, or cruise vacation planning. What I'm trying to say is, if you like to travel, check out Getaway Today. All right, so now it's time to get back to enjoying that view from Walt's apartment. Let's get back to the show.
Yes, this is a perfect time to contact Getaway Today for all your Disney Epic Universe needs, cruise lines, all that stuff in between. And even before that, talking about pirates got me really excited, especially for our next topic, getting us back to the Disney parks. What goes better than Pirates of the Caribbean? A pirate bar. So, of course, we're excited for the pirate bar opening at Magic Kingdom. And we just found out the name of it. And I actually really like this. So, as I'm pulling up the article, what have they named it, Sam?
They are calling it Beacon Barrel. So, it is going to be a themed dining experience. And they've released the name. They have not given us tons else other than that. We do know that it's coming to Adventureland and that they are expecting it to be incredibly popular and busy. They don't have an opening date set for us, but the website is encouraging guests to book a reservation in advance once we do have that date. They are just saying late 2025 for the opening.
Right on. So
they are saying you will also only have 45 minutes to be inside of the establishment. So
Adventureland yogas.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or Ogas, not yoga.
How long do they let you have at Ogas? I know it's like a 2-drink maximum, but I didn't know if there was a 45-minute limit or not.
I think it's a 40-minute hurry up kind of.
It just depends on how busy your server is. So I think we've been there for an hour before where it's just like service was a little slow. So it wasn't our fault, you know? Yeah. So we'll see how this treats you over here.
So yeah, they are scheduling 45-minute reservations once they do start. There are going to be characters. They do have a backstory built in, which we know for that storytelling element. So it's founded by Captain Meriden Mary Goldwyn and her talking parrot Rummy. And she's a renowned pirate rum runner, and she's going to invite guests into a vibrant pirate tavern perfect for adventurers, rogues, and buccaneers of all ages. It is going to be joining the Skipper Canteen as an attraction-themed eating establishment in Adventureland. So,
SCA nods.
SCA nods, fingers crossed. If you have not listened to Imagine That, listen, because we have talked about this a bit. So listen to Imagine That.
Quick question about this. Is this taken over for Tortugas, or is it a brand new building?
Yes.
It's where Tortuga Tavern used to be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if you pull up the screen share, I have the logo up.
Yes.
And the reason I brought it up is actually, if you look at Walt Disney Imagineering's Instagram, they have the artist who created this logo. And so they have like the bee and the beak. As if you look at it, it's actually the parrot, that the mascot of the restaurant, Rummy. And then even so, the little teases. It's really piratey. The K, it ends in a cutlass. Mm-hmm. So very cool. I'm hoping there's gonna be merch. Of course, you had me at Pirate Bar.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be a very large establishment, much like Oga's. To me, I love the concept art that we saw, where we saw like the it's like a chandelier. Yeah, that one right there, like the chandelier, but it's an anchor. That looks so cool to me, but it doesn't look like it's gonna. Yeah, it's covered in candles.
What I like is the people are sitting in chairs.
Good point. Well,
you've been to Oga's before. You know that's not an option.
Well, they're benches. That they look like benches. Everything looks like it's wood benches and like wood stools.
Definitely chairs here.
Yeah.
Oh, in that part, yeah. But I'm talking about the bar. The bar, there were benches.
Okay. Oh, sure.
So what they're seeing here, those are like 2-person benches.
Very cool. And the pirates doing a little Coyote Ugly thing on the bar top. So I'm excited.
Like there's some portraits on the wall, so we'll see if that has some SEA connection or if it's an Imagineer.
So that's what I was thinking too. So the fact that they're calling her Mary
Oceaneer.
Well, I was thinking Adam Meriwether Pleasure.
Ah, yes.
Because they called him Mary. So I'm wondering if there's like a connection there, because we know that Skipper's Canteen is Alberta, Albert Falls relative. So I'm wondering if Mary is Adam Meriwether Pleasure's relative.
That would be cool.
I could see the potentiality of it, but also that could just be my brain doing the thing that it wants to do. I did read some funny comments on that post. People were like tearing it apart, and they're like, "What's with the cheap Home Depot additions to Adventureland?" I'm like, listen,
guys, you mean Home Goods, right?
Home Goods. They said Home Depot. They said Home Depot.
Yeah, they're being ridiculous.
But
you can't get an anchor chandelier at Home Depot. But Home Goods, maybe. It's always possible.
I mean, you can build your own.
I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan, but you know what? Haters are going to hate. This looks amazing. I cannot wait to go here.
And we need another, like, it gives me very Trader Sam's-esque vibes without being too much like Trader Sam's. And like, if there's a wait list to get into somewhere, it's something that you want to keep. If you're going to have to set a 45-minute reservation, it's because you know you're building something that people are going to want to come to.
Yeah.
And if not, by giving it that 45-minute reservation, you're making people think that is something they're going to want to come to, and they're going to come. So,
and no offense,
good marketing.
I mean, Magic Kingdom's pirates suck. So, give us something really cool and some alcohol to have some.
To be clear, it is simply not as good as Disneyland's, but as far as like a dark ride go, it's pretty good still. It's better than a lot of rides in this world.
For sure.
It is. But speaking of Disneyland and sitting in chairs, we also got some random news that just popped up. Literally, we got another new seating area, which takes place. I did bring it up here. It's called the Break Spot at Disneyland. And so this is where the old Haunted Mansion store was on the corner. After you get out, like it's attached to Pieces of 8 in the little garden area. But being that we have the Madame Leota's, so we have Madame Leota. So, they figured we're going to have a little sit place, but it's going to tie in with Princess and the Frog and New Orleans and everything. So
yeah,
I think that's a great idea.
Right next to the Royal Street Veranda in New Orleans Square.
Yeah.
I think it's just more seating for that because there never was any.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of what they're going for with this.
Yep. And it's just giving people a chance to kind of get out of the heat and take a chill out. Yeah.
I was hoping that it was going to be a real bar back there, but it is just for looks.
It is.
Purely ornamental.
Yeah.
It is interesting, though, that they do have most of the bottles there say that they are soda. But there's one that actually says it's boysenberry soda. So if you're a local over here, you know that there's a park 5 miles up the road that's very famous for their boysenberry at Knott's Berry Farm. So it's an interesting little nod to them that they put that in there. They one bottle of it that I could find. What was that?
That's crazy.
So they even have a festival.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's ending soon, but it is going on right now.
I think it's cute. I mean, it's a themed area that they're trying to include in the story to where people can just go take a break without having to offer too much. Because it gets hot and people need to chill out. And sometimes you get overstimulated kids and you just need to go hide in a corner somewhere. So I think that using that space in that way is resourceful.
It's very similar to what they did with the Indiana Jones shop and the other half of the bazaar in Adventureland a few years ago, where they turned that into seating for the Bengal barbecue.
Yeah, which it makes sense too, because you got, I know you just mentioned it, but what was it, Royal Street, with the little window,
the veranda,
yeah, the seats there are just like sardine can, and it's under the stairs of Pirates of the Caribbean or the old gallery. So just even to have that, or like Sam said, get out of the sun, tied in with how beautiful New Orleans Square is right now with all the Tiana stuff. So I think it's good, Yeah.
I think it's a resourceful way to use that space without letting it go to waste and putting in something that is not needed. Yeah. Like people will use this space.
Oh, absolutely. And like you said, especially in the summertime. So one more Disneyland story. This is a quick one. So we've been doing Star Wars weekends or Star Wars After Dark for the last month. So we just celebrated. What do we just celebrate?
May the 4th.
It's Star Wars month. So
like the 4th day of May.
Yeah, so
the day before Cinco de Mayo, Star Wars Day.
Exactly. So Kevin and Amanda were actually at Disneyland this day, but unfortunately they weren't at Star Wars night. But Cassian star Diego Luna showed up and had a special message. And let me get this ready. This was a final Star Wars night, I believe. So, and this was just leading up to the recent episode, which was one of the craziest Star Wars episodes of anything ever.
3 episodes, yeah.
Yeah. I just call it a movie. So here's Diego.
I feel fortunate. Becoming part of this community is something that I'm going to keep forever. It's been 11 years of working in something that we do because you care. We do because you show up. So I just have to thank you all for the support and for following us and for supporting the work we do and for loving this universe so much. You make this journey very special. Thank you very, very much.
So, I mean, the fact that he showed up at that was pretty amazing. Then they did a special a projection show on the castle, a Cassian theme. So it's on Twitter. We showed it on Scott Gudston or Star Wars showed it. So that's just cool when anybody shows up to the parks like that. Like when David Harbour showed up to meet the Red Guardian also recently. I didn't bring that video up, but
yeah. We saw Danny's encounter with the Red Guardian on the live show last night, and it was absolutely hysterical. So you can check that too.
Yeah, that's
no, definitely. I mean, the Andor show has been so good. I mean, the first season and this one so far. I hear there's one episode left. I'm hoping that's going to be amazing. And Rogue One was just so good too. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the story finishing, and yeah, it's gonna be great.
That last 3 are oh my god! But that's a different podcast that we'll be doing later.
Speaking of other things that you can find in the parks, though, let's hear from Where in the Park.
Hey fam, what scavenger hunt are you doing?
Well, we are doing Where in the Park.
Do you guys know Where in the Park? Because we do.
We do. So how you play this is that they give you a deck of cards with an image on it, and you get to look around and see where in the park that is.
And they're fun. So if you like to find stuff, this is what you need to do.
Amazing game. We're in the park right here.
If you're a seasoned Disney park goers, as we are, it's a fun, challenging even for the hardcore Disney parks fan.
We have played the Where in the Park games that we felt like, ooh, we got
still a challenge.
Oh no, yeah, still a challenge, a fun challenge though, not an impossible challenge.
They
get really close to details, and you're like, I have never even seen that. I don't even know.
Where in the park have I seen that?
The great thing about these is that they're not in attractions and they're out in the open places. It's meant for families to play.
Besides people who've been there a lot, it's fun for people that are new to the parks as well, because you catch some of those details that you would probably miss when you're first going.
So there's images that you are finding on one side of the card, and then the other has the hint and the answer that you can reveal if you choose to.
Before it was just the hint and the answer, but now if you really want the land,
it'll tell you
they'll
where.
give you the land for an extra hint. You guys can take as long as you wish without the hint.
Yeah.
Without the hint, it's hard.
But that's what makes it fun.
But they do not just do Disney parks, obviously. What other parks do you guys actually cover?
Universal and all that good stuff.
East
SeaWorld.
Coast, West Coast, and they're continuing to expand even more after that.
Check them out, whereinthepark.com, if you need to get some game packs. They are so much fun.
We appreciate Where in the Park.
They're awesome.
We love
Kevin and
that.
Amanda.
Get you some Where in the Park today.
Hell yeah.
Use promo code Walt's APT Podcast to save 10% at whereinthepark.com.
Yes, hell yeah, like Sean says. So since we got Kevin here, what you guys got going on coming up?
We're going to be at Rogue Comic Con coming up on the 17th and 18th of May, and we're looking forward to that. Also on June 1st, we're going to be at the DFC Expo over in Irvine. So if you want to see some person, go there. Otherwise, again, like the ad just said, you can buy our packs anytime you want at whereinthepark.com.
Yay.
That sounds like a lot of fun. So Sam's going to educate us on something that happened recently that I was too busy to I don't say like I was too busy to say, but it's been wacky at work. But we had a quarterly call with Mr. Iger, kind of talking about what's going on with the company. So a lot of good stuff. So what do we get?
Yeah. So we do know that everything's pretty much up 10% as far as stocks and stuff, right? And ticket sales. Kevin, anything you want to say about that part?
I thought you were going to say ticket prices, but yeah, no. As far as stock goes, I'm also happy to hear that's increasing. It's about time. We'll see if it continues or if it's just a little spike. We'll see how the Abu Dhabi announcement really affects it. I know there's been kind of a mixed response with the internet on that.
So even in this troubling economy that we're in right now, Disney is still making gains financially. Yes, Kevin did mention the other big thing that came out of the investors call. We're going to get to that in just a second. But he did mention 4 projects that we are now sure are still currently in the works for the parks, because people have speculation that some of these things might be delayed or might be going away. But he did say that Disney Villains Land at Magic Kingdom, the Cars expansion for Frontierland in Magic Kingdom, Pandora at DCA, and Coco at DCA are still in the works. They were all mentioned by him. How do you guys feel about those projects? That the fact that we're still getting those things. Is there anything that you're kind of hesitant about seeing?
I'm very excited for Coco at DCA. I'm done with my list. No, I mean Villains also sounds great. The Villains Land sounds great. But I'm skeptical that it's going to come into fruition the way it's been designed. What were you thinking, Joey?
Well, I got the photos up ready
thank you,
for our
Joey.
YouTubers.
Thank you for that.
Oh, sure. So I'll just start. Of course, excited for Villains Land and with the villains that we've seen. So
can I be completely honest? I don't think that it's going to look like this concept art.
Me too.
Because it's Florida in the daylight.
Exactly.
So I'm curious what that's going to look like.
But because of everything we're hearing, and not just of Epic Universe, but of Dark Universe in particular, this has to hit. Even though it doesn't have to be as scary and stuff, it really does have to hit because, Universal's setting the bar right now, and I think that's okay. There's no hate on that, because if Disney's not setting the bar and somebody else is, that means we're going to up our game. I don't say Disney Imagineers are going to up their game. And again, we've said this for months. And who reaps the benefits? We do. So I'm okay with Universal being in the lead for a while.
Yeah.
Universal's definitely set the goalposts, and we'll see where Disney knocks it out. Or if
it's time to clap back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then with Cars, it's a good idea. I'm not hating on it.
I'm hating a little bit.
I didn't even know they had I know they had the island, but I didn't know they actually had stuff on there. So
I am not a fan of them essentially draining the water to connect everything to put in something that doesn't make sense with the theming of the land.
I know Florida,
I'm okay with them
Cars, but where they chose to put it, I do not agree with it.
I'm okay with them draining the water. I don't understand Cars in Frontierland, but we'll see if they retheme the land and make it all make sense.
For me, that westward expansion, there's water involved in that. So it takes me out of the storytelling unless they're really, really going to do like what we talked about in Imagine That, where Amanda talked about, putting animals on the island. Okay, well, if the water's gone, we can do that. We can create that petting zoo type area where they used to have something similar in Frontierland. So there are definitely things that they can do better than putting in something that thematically does not make sense with the storyline.
It's just Frontierland in Magic Kingdom is a mess because you got a bayou-based ride in Frontierland. You got automobiles now that are going to be around Frontierland, but it looks cool based on the concept art. And moving to DCA, I am a fan of Avatar, and I'm excited for this land if we ever find out where it's going to go.
Your microphone is sounding. Yeah.
Your sound is a little off right now. That's not just me.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Oh, there you are.
You're great.
Yeah, for DCA's Avatar. Like again, I like Avatar. I love the Avatar land and When it was first announced, I was one of the people who was on the fence about it being added to that park. But I think it looks wonderful. It feels right over there. For a theme park based on California, I don't understand how Avatar is going to fit into it. Because everything else has kind of had like even a very loose connection to California, I'm okay with. Even Pixar Pier, still based on piers. Pixar is a company from California. I'm okay with this. Over at Avengers Campus, they call it West Coast Avengers over there. They have like even things saying it's Avengers West. I get it. That exists in the comics. I'm on board. I can buy this. But Avatar, like I just don't understand. I remember at D23, I actually asked one of the Imagineers that was over there by the model. And I was like, I know you can't tell me any details at all. Just tell me that you have a story that makes sense for this to be in California. And I was assured, I don't remember the person's name, but they assured me that there is a story and that it will make perfect sense on why it is put where it is.
Westcott.
So I'm hoping this is true. Right, we're going to change the whole name of the park to Westcott, and now it makes sense. It's the only thing that makes sense to me.
We're going to get
right
that.
now.
We're going to get that ocean what they wanted with like Long Beach, the aquarium and stuff. Because it's supposed to be
Disney Seas was the design, the one that was built in Tokyo. That original concept art was what they just transferred over to Tokyo. Was what they had designed for Long Beach.
Because this is going to be
with
the way of
volcano.
This is going to be based on Way of Water. So we'll see, but the one I am definitely excited for is the Coco attraction.
Yes,
looks amazing.
Number one, yes, and I think it's bye Goofy Sky School and everything, kind of like around there, maybe, but who knows?
I don't know. I watched a video by Jim Schull, who's a former Imagineer who's like kind of in charge of some of the stuff over there. And he showed like, the map of California Adventure, where it was kind of like near where the roller coaster is, where the Incredicoaster is, where there's enough room to go back there to put in a full-size dark ride that would kind of touch where the sidewalk is.
Where the parades come out of, that whole area.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like between that and where the Toy Story Midway Mania ride is. It was like, it can technically fit right here. So I'm like, if you say it can, I believe you. But other than that, I don't know.
I've been back there during the one Disney 5K I did. We ran the backstage, but around that back area, I'm like, there is a lot of space back there. So, but yeah, I'm excited. And I mean, those were the big things from D23, and the fact that they're in, process still.
And then the other announcement that we did get, which Kevin brought up earlier. Kevin, you weren't on the live show yesterday to talk about the Disney Imagined Parks that is coming to Abu Dhabi. Morale, I believe I'm saying the name of that company correctly. Yeah,
it's in the comments. You read what I was saying, what I was thinking.
Yeah, so essentially they are paying Disney researchers or Disney Imagineers to do research and development for this theme park, which is great for Disney's bankroll. But there are some concerns about the part of the world that Disney influence is going to be now projected into, and how much connection Disney is going to have to that park once they release their research and development. But it looks like they're giving our Disney Imagineers full reign to build something that looks like it very well could be incredible, but we don't know much at all. So what are your guys' thoughts on the new park in Abu Dhabi?
Yeah, like I said, the artwork is very impressionistic, so it's hard to tell what they're going to do. The castle looks like it's a piece of crystal or something. Castle, I guess in quotes. Bob Iger referred to it as a castle, so
looks like Fortress of Solitude.
That's what I was saying last night. Yeah,
it's a little Superman-ish. Which again, they have a Warner Brothers world right there on the same stretch of land that they're building this park. I don't know if you guys looked up the Yas Island or Yas Island.
I did after you sent it. Yeah, you sent it in our absolutely free Discord.
Yeah, so like there's other indoor parks already at this little like spot of land, in Abu Dhabi. So you can go to SeaWorld, you can go to Warner Brothers World, there's a Ferrari World, there's a huge water park over there. And then there is this Disney Abu Dhabi that they just announced, where a lot of the concept art for the other parks made it look like they were going to be outdoors, because, like, it looks prettier to show what something looks like when you can actually see all the building tops.
You can't.
But what they built it was all indoors, because Abu Dhabi is a very hot location. It's in the middle of the desert.
Sandstorms.
They have sandstorms. They have roller coasters that go outdoors, though. So I'm sure, like, they're keeping an eye on, like, how the wind is blowing. But it is kind of interesting to see them building a whole park there where it looks like it's going to be outdoors. Like, it felt like they implied that it was going to be outdoors. So I don't really know what they're going to end up building. I'm assuming it's going to have at least indoor walkways connecting everything if it isn't completely indoors. But it is interesting because, like I was saying,
gate, though, right?
What do you mean?
It's not going to be like, is it going to be an official like Disney gate?
They're calling this the 7th resort. They're saying that this is the 13th theme park. So yeah,
Damaro said
It is
that
an
on the
official
video.
gate.
Iger said it. Yeah.
Like, it feels like,
I'm very
how
curious. Oh.
they built a Disney Quest in Chicago, and they didn't build it that way as being like, the next big Disney theme park. And it shuttered over there. It was an indoor,
it was a Disney experience. Yeah,
exactly. So that's how it kind of felt with this one, where I was all like, if it's going to be an indoor Disney thing, is it really a Disney park? But if they can pull off an indoor Disney park, what does that mean for places over here where, like, you have like Texas, where Universal's trying to build a kid park. But if you can build a fully indoor park in Texas, do it, right? If you have that technology that you figured out with morale money over in Abu Dhabi, bring it over.
So I guess okay, that is the benefit. Yeah, that is the benefit, is that as research is happening by Imagineers to build this park in Abu Dhabi, there are going to be things that are going to cost less money for our Imagineers, like here, once they, are done with that project, to kind of replicate some of that technology, some of the things that they learned in doing research and development to build the new park. We talked last night a lot about this topic on the live, so I really don't want to overkill it. But
yeah. Can I share Josh D'Amaro's video? It's a short one. Let me just pull it up here, and I want to get the audio. And it'll get a little bit more of an insight, but it's just, like I said, it's really short. Here we go.
Mm-hmm.
Hey everyone, it's Josh. I'm in Abu Dhabi today. What an exciting day. We announced that we will be building our next theme park right here in Abu Dhabi. This will be our 7th Disney destination around the world, and this is all part of turbocharging our business. This park and resort will be unlike anything that we've done before. You can see we've got a beautiful waterfront to play with. The possibilities in this next theme park are endless. So exciting. Our Imagineers, they are already hard at work, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to have a lot more to share with you soon. Until then, everybody, please take care.
So Josh D'Amaro said he's got more to share soon, which means we will also be bringing that to you as we learn about it. There are a lot of unanswered questions, so we'll get to those soon. But it's going to be giving a lot of creative liberty to Imagineers to kind of figure out some new technologies and figure things out. And speaking of someone who takes creative liberties, none other than our sponsor and our co-host, Lou from Sunken City Designs. Let's hear from him now, and we come back with some more parks news.
Sunken City Designs brings you art. Do you like art? I know I do. How about art based on Disney characters, like Mickey Mouse and the Oyster Thief? That's actually from Alice in Wonderland, the best princess movie ever made. Also, we have some dwarfs that have their heads ripped off sometimes. Why? I don't know. It's because it's Sunken City Design. So go there, sunkencitydesign.com. Get yourself some great merchandise. You got posters and, I believe, clothes. Who knows? I got a cup from there, and it's fantastic. You like cups? Do you ever use those? I do. Go for it. Oh yeah, sweatshirts. Can't forget about those. If you're ever cold, get yourself a sweatshirt from sunkencitydesign.com. Also, WALL-E. That's the best movie ever made. Second only to Alice in Wonderland. All right. If you also like Walt's apartment, they have merch for that too. Where? DuncanCityDesign.com. Hopefully you've already loaded up that site and you're looking at it and you have some items in your cart. Go ahead and check out as soon as you can because the show's about to come back on. All right, everybody. We appreciate you.
And you know what? WALL-E is the best movie of all time. So
that's what Sean says.
Yeah,
it is. We took the words out of his actual mouth.
But definitely check out our boy Lou's art and his website. Everything's just super awesome and twisted, and we love it. And before we go to our final news topic, just a little reminder: on May 25th, I believe, myself, Courtney, Kelly, Kevin, and Amanda will be at the D23 game at the hosted by the Angels. You guys went last year during D23 week, and so we're happy to do this year. They're doing a Stitch giveaway, and so really excited for that. But unfortunately, I won't be able to go to the happenings right after. But we got an unlikely announcement of something popping up at Disneyland. So if you pop up that share video,
yes, this is the backstory to what we're about to tell you. So
yes, here we go.
If you don't know the Savannah Bananas, you should definitely check them out.
Walk it off for the Bananas. Wilson is mobbed. A dog pile around home plate. And it looks like Sam Bowman's here with a question for him.
Savannah Bananas, you just walked off the 6th inning. What are you going to do next? We're going to Disneyland! We are going to Disneyland on May 28th for Savannah Bananas Day. It's a dream come true. Mickey, anything else?
See ya real soon.
We'll see you soon, Banana Nation. Savannah Bananas Day at Disneyland.
It's going to walk it off for the Bananas.
That is right. The Savannah Bananas are going to be at Disneyland.
If you don't know who the Savannah Bananas are, they are essentially they're.
I think the Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah, but baseball, and I mean they're not the only team. There's a league of like dancing, singing, silly baseball players, who are essentially minor league teams in some regard, and they are just so much fun. I follow them on TikTok and I watch all of their videos. So
and they do a lot of Disney dancing videos on live. So
they do.
Last month they streamed one of their games. Amanda and I watched it on our TV and it was hilarious. It was it's silly. Don't get me wrong. Like it has. There's moments where it's like if you love baseball, you're watching this, you're like, what are you guys doing? But at the same time, it's kind of amazing. Where it's like, oh, the guy in the stands caught the foul ball, so therefore it's an out. It's like these weird rules that they have at Savannah Bananas where
so funny.
It's just things you kind of wish would be real, but they aren't. But
the umpires working. I mean, and the funny thing is these guys start off playing in like AA and single A stadiums. They're filling out full Major League Baseball stadiums now.
They're so much fun.
Oh yeah, it's just it. Yeah, so the fact that they're going to be at Disneyland, so they're going to have a cavalcade, and they're actually going to have a dance number where people can participate.
Say, hey, baby, hey, baby, hey.
Yeah, so like Sam was saying,
I think it's hey, baby.
Oh, that one?
Ooh, that's one they did during the stream. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's that one.
So, well, there's
a whole dance to that.
Kind of Sleeping Beauty Castle. So this is coming to Disneyland Park on May 28th.
Yeah, and like Sam said, follow them on TikTok and Instagram. They're great, and they have one more short video. If I want to share again,
I will pop that up in just a second. So also they are doing banana inspired treats at Disneyland that day. So there's going to be specialty treats. There is going to be a banana split at Gibson Girl Ice Cream Parlor. Hungry Bear Barbecue Jamboree is going to be doing a banana pudding, and then DCA is going to do a banoffee pie cold brew at the Cappuccino Cart, and then a banana split churro for the churro spot near Goofy Sky School.
I'm over here shaking my head. It does say that these are available throughout the year across the resort, because these aren't new for the bananas.
No, they're not. They're not. They're just
You can get the banana
advertising them with
pudding
specialty
since
treats.
yeah, these are things that have been there. I had the Banaphi pie cold brew last weekend. It was delicious, but it's not there because of Savannah Bananas. But it is funny to pretend, which is kind of what they do on point.
It that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's one more video. Just these guys are excited. You can tell he's a Disney nerd too. So
I mean, it's
We
a great
announced
way.
that May 28th is Savannah Banana Day at Disneyland, and here are the 5 things you need to know. Number 1, yes, we will have a parade on Main Street, USA. They call it a cavalcade, which is much cooler, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Number 2, there's going to be a lot of dancing, obviously, so make sure you meet us at Sleeping Beauty Castle for that. Number 3, my favorite part, the food and drinks. They're going to have a lot of specialty food and drinks for you guys. They're going to have banana splits, banana pudding, banana coffee, which they're calling banoffee, obviously. And number 4, my favorite one, the banana split churro. Number 4, if you want to find me, I will be riding Guardians of the Galaxy in a Incredicoaster about 500 times, so that is where I'll be. And number 5, I want to trade pins with you guys. So if you see me at Disney and want to trade pins, you might get this one. And also, one last thing.
We're going to Disneyland!
They're so cute. I literally love them. So yeah, but honestly, it's a great way for Disney to market their banana treats to get people to try them on that day. So
yeah. And if you didn't, for those listening, they're going to be he's going to be trading a special Savannah Banana pin. So be on the lookout.
yeah, that's so fun.
You have to actually trade it, or will they just be giving them to you?
Probably both. I'm sure
Why
they'll
not both?
just be giving them to people.
They will.
I
They
want
will.
one.
But of course, the trading will happen. I want one too. So
Yeah.
if anybody's there and wants to send me one, I would love you forever. I think that was the first time that I've actually put in the chat how jealous I was that I could not be at Disneyland that day, because I actually really do love the Savannah Bananas.
Oh yeah, they're great.
Is that all we have for tonight, Joey?
That is. So I just want to remind everybody again, while everybody's headed up to Oregon, we'll be doing Extra Magic Hour live on Wednesday, really hyping up the 70th, which we'll be at on the 16th. So thank you, Sam. Thank you, Kevin, for jumping in this evening. And yeah, can't wait to do this again and hear about Rogue Comic Con with you guys too. So
All right. Well, it's been a great show. Until next time, we'll see you in the parks.
yes.
Switch on.